Fundamentally, what's your approach to investing and to trading? What kind of indicators do you use? What kind of news outlets do you follow? What kind of influencers do you follow? What kind of indicator variables are you using? What's your general approach? I believe this question doesn't get asked enough. I believe most people get caught up in the execution, as in a lot of people follow random people on Twitter, or they follow certain news outlet websites, and they try to trade based on those news. For others, they might plot charts, they might put lines on price charts, and they buy whenever the price is low on a rising trend, and they believe that the trend will prevail, and if it doesn't, they get stopped out, they sell. This is all execution. That's very different from defining the best approach. A lot of people get caught up in execution, as in they simply just bake the bread, right? They bake the bread, they do the product, they do the trading, they do the execution. They don't really think about the recipe. They don't really think about what bread to bake. They don't really think about how to make this process more efficient, how to make it more reliable. And that's, I believe, what's actually more important long term. Because execution is simply just generating sample size. Right? If you've got already an edge in the market, let's say you use some on-chain analytics tools, and let's say this is an asset that currently gets accumulated by a lot of retail investors, that's why I buy it, and you execute based on this, this can of course work. And the longer you do this trading, the more money you will get. But the real game is to actually refine the approaches. The real game is to find the right Twitter accounts to follow, to find the right influencers to follow, to actually work on refining the trading approach, to refine the information that comes in, to refine the data processing, to come to better decisions in the future. So there's always an execution part, but there's also the learning part. And most people get stuck in 95% execution and put very, very little effort in finding better Twitter accounts. Right? Let's say you see an altcoin that's suddenly shooting up, right? A small altcoin makes, a 5x in a single day. What would you do in this case, right? Maybe you're searching for that altcoin on YouTube and you see other people, other YouTubers talking about it, say, hey, this altcoin just went up and I believe it might continue to go up because X, Y, Z. But what you should actually do, what I believe is way better, is to find the videos that got published before the price rally, to find the Twitter accounts that talked about this before the price rally, to then look deeper into those Twitter accounts. Do they actually make those kind of tweets relatively often? Do they actually pick up on future winners relatively often? Suddenly, you've got a source of information that might be of value to you long term. Suddenly, you've refined your approach. So you find better sources of information. I believe a lot of success in trading is simply just always refining your approaches, finding the best on-chain analytics tools, finding the best information sources, finding potentially the best community around you as well, right? Maybe there are more advanced communities, maybe there are not so advanced communities, maybe you should be following the community or joining the community that has a lot of people in there that already are winners, right? So trading is a game of expected value. There is, of course, a luck component, right? You might be buying the right altcoin and then suddenly COVID happens and everything crashes, including your great altcoin, and that was not necessarily your fault. There is obviously a luck component, but there's also a skill component, and there is a sample size component. So the larger the skill is, the larger your edge in the market is, plus the larger your sample size is, the more I believe we can win.
This video is sponsored by the Premium membership. I never take any money from any crypto project. I never take any affiliate links from centralized exchanges. I never pump and dump coins. Instead, I offer valuable tutorials in the Premium membership. Feel free to check it out.
So it is a matter of our tool set. It is a matter of our information. And so simply just putting in a conscious effort in beating the market, in getting information most people don't look at, I believe, is the key to everything. Because who is winning and who is losing? The people that win tend to buy earlier. And if you want to buy earlier, it's probably not the right thing to just follow the information that's already very well spread. Right? If you follow the news on CoinDesk or on Cointelegraph, then it's tens of thousands of others that have already read this, then you're unlikely going to make money from this. But if you're following a Twitter account that has a very good track record, let's say recently with the Ethereum ETF approval, right? If you're following those kind of Twitter accounts that had been very, very precise and very, very good at tracking the Bitcoin ETF approval, if you just have notifications on those kinds of accounts, and then they say, I believe there's a 75% chance of an approval, and then 2 days later the approval actually happens, right? If you're doing that just because you curated the right kind of information sources, gives you all the alpha, gives you the access to be actually early. So the message of this video is to not just trade more, to not just execute more, to not just learn by doing. It's to put actually conscious effort into refining your approaches, refining the people that you're following. Following the winners is, I believe, already a winning strategy. If you would have followed every trade that Warren Buffett made, you didn't have to buy Berkshire Hathaway, you simply just followed whatever he traded, you would have outperformed massively as well. If you're buying what other insiders are buying, you're getting the insider return as well without even being an insider. And that's the beauty about the blockchain, right? We can actually track different wallets. This is what we do in Premium, by the way, right? We have all kinds of wallets of other influencers. We look at what are they buying, what are they selling, and we can also see historically how accurate had they been at buying and selling certain altcoins. And a lot of influencers are insiders, right? They might get token allocations, or they might have very close connections with the team because the team wants to get more exposure. So they share information with that influencer. The influencer might just pump and dump a coin, right? They might buy something to then afterwards promote it on their YouTube, push up the price because there's so many eyeballs then on the token. So following the smart money is already a winning strategy. And that's what we do in Premium, right? We simply just track influencer wallets and we get a notification whenever an influencer buys or sells something. And then we discuss within Telegram in the comments under a signal whether or not to follow that certain buy or sell signal. So this is, I believe, what makes most sense. Try to refine your approaches. Try to refine your information sources. Get information earlier than others. And find the approach how to get information earlier than others. And find the people, find the wallets that already do get the information earlier than others. You can only be earlier than others by doing things that others don't do. You have to put in the extra effort. If you're simply just following Cointelegraph, you're not going to be among the small minority that will be able to buy low and sell high. When it goes up, then that's because a lot of people are already on that asset, right? A price goes up because people buy it. But it can only continue to go up if people continue to buy it. And that's always questionable when it's already in the headlines everywhere. If it's the first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. Feel free to also join our free Telegram. There's also a free Telegram. Link is down below. Looking forward to chatting with you. Cheers.